Hook. Jennifer Love Hewitt turning a 25-year-old movie into a hot-take factory? Buckle up, because Heartbreakers isn't just a film. It's a case study in energy, era, and the surprisingly thorny path to a true on-screen duo. Context. Hewitt marked Heartbreakers' 25th anniversary with nostalgic photos and reflections, and the stories behind the scenes reveal more than just jokes and glamour. The cast, the dynamics, and the choices, from initial casting rumors to the protective environment on set, give us a lens into early 2000s Hollywood and what it takes to pull off a comedy about cons without losing heart. Main breakdown. The surprise chemistry matters more than the script. In Heartbreakers, Hewitt and Sigourney Weaver didn't just share scenes. They built a symbiotic rhythm that carried the movie. Personally, I think the real magic isn't just the con plot, but how the two leads balance warmth with mischief. What makes this really interesting is how protective the set was of Hewitt's teenage years. People were literally adjusting wardrobe and safety lines to ensure the young actor wasn't overexposed. From my perspective, that care isn't just kindness. It's a signal about how studios used to curate reputations and mentorship on big productions. If you take a step back and think about it, that dynamic foreshadows how modern sets try to normalize safety and collaboration, not spectacle alone. The casting what-ifs reveal a different movie. Hewitt recalls producers eyeing Cher, Cameron Diaz, Jamie Lee Curtis, Christina Ricci, Angelica Houston for Max and Paige. One thing that immediately stands out is how often a project pivots on who's available and who's willing to balance star power with a believable mentorship dynamic. What this really suggests is that the heart of a con comedy isn't just clever lines, it's the tension between experience and youth, and how casting choices shape the story's tone. A detail I find fascinating is how those hypothetical pairings might have redirected the film's mood, from slyly glamorous to outright zany, and what that says about the era's star economy. Realistic yet theatrical stunt ethics shape the performance. Hewitt's memories include nerves about stunts and blocking, and the safety and crew mindset sounds almost quaint by today's self-help culture of on-set transparency. What this really highlights is how performance confidence rides on trust. You're delivering high-energy con scenes opposite icons like Sigourney Weaver, while also learning to trust your own instincts. In my opinion, this behind-the-scenes element is a reminder that talent isn't just raw talent. It's a practiced balance of risk, respect, and rehearsal. A deeper takeaway: protecting a younger actor creates long-term loyalty and safer creative environments, which modern productions still chase, but sometimes struggle to maintain. The film's legacy lives in the fan conversation. Fans still celebrate Heartbreakers as iconic, with reels and quotes echoing across communities. What many people don't realize is how a 2001 comedy can feel timeless, because it reflects a fantasy of glamour married to wit, and Hewitt's reflection shows how actors internalize that legacy. From my perspective, the film's rewatchability isn't just nostalgia, it's a blueprint for how female-led comedies can balance charm, humor, and agency without devolving into slapstick. A detail I find fascinating is how the mother-daughter con thread resonates with audiences who crave female-led storytelling that's clever, not cruel. Deeper insight. Open doors for a sequel, but with maturity as the new currency. Hewitt says she'd be open to exploring Paige's future and how that character evolves when you're in your 40s. This raises a deeper question. Do you chase nostalgia with updated stakes, or do you recalibrate the core tension to reflect grown-up versions of the characters? If they did a sequel, it might lean into legacy. How con aesthetics persist when the era of pageantry shifts into a more nuanced, less carefree landscape. What this really suggests is that long-running character arcs can hinge on time, not just plot twists, and audiences crave the evolution as much as the reunion. The era's star ecosystem matters. The discussion around who is considered for the roles exposes how talent networks influence what finally lands on screen. From my view, the Heartbreakers casting chatter is a microcosm of Hollywood's pipeline. Studios weigh star power, perceived chemistry, and audience expectation. What this implies is that a beloved movie's identity is partly a product of what could have been, and how those near-miss combinations shaped the final product's vibe and reception. A detail I find fascinating is how these what-ifs reveal a cultural snapshot of the early 2000s blockbuster mindset, where cross-genre appeal and high-want female-led comedies were both marketable and cultural touchstones. Closing thought. Heartbreakers endures because it's about shaping your own legacy. Hewitt's reflections, the protective set culture, and the imagined casting constellations all combine to show that a film's lasting impact isn't just the jokes, it's the people, the choices, and the possibility of what comes next. If I zoom out, I'd ask the audience, how do you think Paige would handle today's spotlight? Would the con be more about navigating fame responsibly, or about redefining an icon's moral compass in a world hungry for sequels and nostalgia? End note. Thanks for staying tuned. If you enjoyed this breakdown, drop a comment with your favorite Heartbreakers moment or who you think should play Paige in a hypothetical reboot. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more creator-style dives into iconic film histories.